Hey guys. We're back. So, has everyone recovered from the last panel? No? Sorry. Well, we're going to be doing a spotlight panel here. So I'm going to welcome to the stage Sabres Park joining me.
Woo! It's me.
What do you got there?
A pumpkin spice frappuccino with liquid form.
Oh, yummy. But we're not here for us. We are here to introduce Kelly Sheridan.
Woo!
Where did you come from?
Blame my parents.
Well, hey Kelly, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're great. Been having a quiet morning. Haven't done anything.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing worth
Just
noting.
chill.
Yeah.
Chilling in San Diego.
Chill.
So, is this your first time
Hi,
in San
Gabby.
Diego?
Hi.
I know she's the.
You guys met Gabby? She's the best.
She is the best.
She's pretty great.
She was critiquing my YouTube channel yesterday.
Oh, good.
You need
she
it.
has some good opinions about the show. and
She does.
stuff. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
smart.
So, is this your first time in San Diego?
It is. I've had tacos 4 times in the last 24 hours.
Is there anyone else in the audience who it's their first time in San Diego, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Have you guys had tacos yet? What?
You don't get any
That's-
closer to Mexico than unless you are in Mexico, I guess. But yeah, no, it's great weather this weekend.
Amazing. It's, I don't know what it would be in Fahrenheit. It's -7 at home right now, which isn't too cold in the grand scheme of things, but live in Vancouver, which is near Seattle. We don't understand snow where I'm from, so cold and snow.
It's like the one big disconnect between Canadians
guarantee.
and Americans is when we talk about weather. And we're like, yeah, Celsius. And we're like, yeah, it's Celsius. Sounds
-7's
terrible.
like
How many is that?
50? 20. Really? Oh, anyway.
I'm
there you
glad
go.
someone
20.
knows.
It's not that bad, right? It's whatever, but it's cold for me.
We call it freedoms here. It's like it's 15 freedoms outside.
We call them beaver teeth at home.
Well, first off, I guess there we go. AV team, is this our Q&A mic, by the way? That one? I see, this is probably one thing I should have asked beforehand. Where would we like the Q&A'ers to line up? Right there? Well, okay, so if anyone has a question, we're going to go through a few questions with Kelly, but then we're going to open it up to the floor. So you guys can ask questions. So don't be shy. I'm sure Kelly is eager to answer your questions here.
Yeah.
But I guess before we get going, why don't we talk about your involvement with My Little Pony? So
Okay.
you have, obviously, you have a pretty big role in the show now. How did you get involved in the first place? How did it all come together?
Well, like most gigs, I auditioned for the role of Starlight, but I had auditioned for a lot of roles on the show prior to that. I auditioned for the main 6 when they originally cast the show, and I auditioned for pretty much every other female character that had ever been on the show at that point, and never had any luck. It was like my white whale. It's like, I'm gonna get on the show! So I was traveling, and I was in Kuala Lumpur for one night on my way to Indonesia and in a hotel, and I got an email from my agent saying, oh, they want you to record an MP3 for My Little Pony for this character. And I was like, okay, and I only had a certain amount of time to do it and send it off, with the time change and everything. So I built a little pillow fort in my hotel room, like a little sound studio, and recorded the role on my the little audition thing they sent me on my iPad and sent it away, and then kind of forgot about it. I was on vacation for 2 weeks. And then my agent called the day before I flew home and said, you got the part. I said, great. He's like, I'll send you the script and the song materials, and you'll have to learn them on the plane and be ready 9 a.m. the next day to record. And I went,
Wow, right away.
Song materials? He's like, yeah, she's got to sing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Good thing I can kind of sing, because, they didn't ask me to in the audition. But anyway, that's how I got the role. And I'm really glad I did. I didn't know she was going to turn into the pony she's become. So I thought it was just like a 1-episode thing, and that would be it.
Oh.
And, yeah.
That's what I was actually going to ask you, is that in the audition or when they told you the character, did they have any indication that eventually this character is actually going to be a good guy?
No, definitely not that. And they keep things pretty locked down. I think they knew where Starlight was going, but I think sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they just realize that a character resonates with fans and they want to write more of them, or, different things happen for different reasons. But I think they knew kind of generally where Starlight was going, but I didn't. And that's actually kind of helpful as an actor. Like, I don't need to know that in order to play the role, and it was kind of nice not knowing, so that I could fully invest in her badness. But yeah, it was a nice surprise. It's nice to be... I'll be on as many episodes as they let me.
Did you feel like the new kid at a school when you walked into the recording studio with the other voice actors, or were you like, "Oh, what's up, guys? I'm finally here"?
No, I mean, I knew all the gals. We've been friends for ages, so because Vancouver's kind of a small industry, and we've all worked on a bunch of shows together before, so that was really fun. And I knew the voice director and everything. But it was exciting. It was exciting finally being in the room on this show that I loved, that I already watched, and that I wanted to be a part of. So it was fun. It was exciting.
Now, when I feel like some actors or actresses have like a role that they're really known for, and I'm curious if you have one that people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're the person who voices this person." Like, I know you've done Barbie and various other things. What's your like? Oh, this is one that I'm commonly known for.
Barbie's a pretty big one. I played the voice of Barbie for Mattel's feature films for about 15 years. And just as that was ending, My Little Pony started, so it was kind of cool. It's like one toy empire to another. So that's a big one. And then I've done a lot of anime, and that seems to be something that this fandom kind of knows more about than the Barbie movies. Although I have met a lot of Barbie fans. So I played Sango and Inuyasha. That was one big one. Yeah, Sango. She's rad. That's probably one of the bigger ones. There's been a bunch of stuff over the years. I've been working for a long time, so it's a lot of roles.
A lot of bread rolls.
I'm going to ask the generic question. When was the moment when you were like, "I want to be a voice actor. This is it. I want to do this"? Or was it more of a gradual thing?
I don't know. I kind of stumbled into it like most of us have, but I loved the Muppets as a kid. And even as a kid, I understood the mechanics behind the Muppets. Like, I understood that they weren't real, and I knew who Frank Oz was, and I knew who Henson was, and all that stuff. So the Muppets were definitely a part of that, of my formative acting development. And just listening to cartoons as a kid and being able to pick out, Frank Welker in different shows, or pick out different amazing actors. Even as a kid, being able to hear that and going like, "Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun." And watching behind the scenes and making ofs of Disney movies and things. So I don't know if it was one particular moment, but hi Spartans. They're incognito. Sorry, they just turned invisible.
So I guess for some kids, they grow up going, "I want to be Superman or Batman." You're like, "I want to be Jim Henson."
Yeah, I wanted to be a Muppet. I wanted to
you wanted to be a Muppet.
I wanted to be like Gonzo or something. No, I think like working at the Henson Studios would probably be the most amazing. I already have a pretty good job, and I think working there would be also pretty amazing. Just incredible.
Well, cool.
I would do anything they asked me to.
So a reminder for everybody, we can start lining up here. If you have a question, any question for Kelly, come on up. There we go. See, it always takes the first one to get up, and then the line begins. So any questions about voice acting? I'm sure Kelly knows a thing or two. While we get this line going here, I think actually, you want to be all set. You nervous, Kelly?
I'm so nervous.
I'm kind of nervous for you.
I'll play some elevator music while I'm waiting.
Banana phone.
Hi!
So we know how Sunburst got his cutie mark, but how did Starlight get hers?
So her question is, we know how Sunburst got his cutie mark, but how did Starlight get hers? I don't know.
Could be a possible episode in the future.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I kind of wonder if she was already feeling kind of isolated and feeling like she was in darkness and stuff when she got it, and if that had something to do with her journey. I think that'd be super cool. sort of her Vader moment. But it would be so fun to do that episode because I love it. I mean, I love where Starlight is now, but say, for example, when I did Hearthwarming Tale, it was so fun to kind of get to be bad again. Yeah. So it'd be fun to do an episode like that because I don't know if she'd be entirely good.
Back into the fray.
That's a great question. Thanks.
Thank you.
What's your name, by the way? Brooklyn? Nice to meet you. Thanks for your question. Hi, Gabby.
Hello.
Here comes Gabby.
So, I was wondering if maybe Starlight will ever become an alicorn or get her thrown in like the throne room because she seems to be part of the main six
Right.
a lot.
Will Starlight ever become an alicorn? Oh, I think she has a long way to go.
Because I want her to. It's awesome.
Because you want her to? Oh, that's nice.
And I was wondering, like, you know, like when you film the Barbie movies, do you like sing? Because
Do I sing in the Barbie movies too?
Yeah.
I don't sing in the Barbie movies.
Oh.
I sing as Starlight, but I don't sing in the Barbie movies. In the Barbie movies, they cast two really amazing singers, Melissa Lyons, and I can't remember what her name is. It was mostly Melissa. And she's an amazing Broadway singer and sounds exactly like me if I could sing amazing Broadway styles. Because I can sing okay, but I can't sing the way she can. And yeah.
well, I love your singing.
Oh, thanks. That's really nice. I've taken a lot of singing lessons
Your
since I did Barbie.
songs are amazing. Say Goodbye to the Holiday. It was stuck in my head for months, and it still is today.
I'm sorry and thank you.
It's okay. I have it on my soundtrack and my playlist and everything.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
Christmas listening.
Gabby's someday going to make Generation 5 for MLP.
Yeah.
I agree.
This is like
No,
predestined.
I agree. She knows all the canon and she
Future
has a very
Lauren Faust.
sophisticated view of the show. So
Nope. Generation 4 is gonna be here forever.
we'll just be
You heard
running
it
the
here,
show.
here, folks.
That's right.
It's been done.
Spoilers.
Can you fire Larson again?
Generation 4 is the best,
Thanks.
and will
I
always
agree.
be in my heart.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Ponies rule.
Gabby, you.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thanks, Gabby.
Do you have a favorite song that you sang in My Little Pony?
Well, I think Say Goodbye to the Holiday is that's got to be my favorite. Yeah, it's the one I worked the hardest on. It was the most difficult. It was so fun. And Daniel wrote such an amazing score for that episode. Like just Luna's song, oh man, it's the best. So it was so fun to just be a part of it. Actually, I really like Applejack's song in that, Seeds of the Past in that episode too. It's really beautiful. But I sang a teeny like one line in that song. But yeah, Say Goodbye. It was fun. It's my Ursula moment, my Disney villain. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So Starlight is going to be one of my most admirable ponies in the show, and I just wanted to know what is the most admirable trait you find about her and how far she's come.
I think her ability to change and recognize when she's at fault. I think that's really brave. Because it would be so easy. She's so powerful. So I think it'd be really easy for her to just rely on her magic. And I think that's her challenge to learn how to cooperate and get along with people and use communication and all of that stuff. And it'd be so easy for her, and she doesn't always succeed, but it'd be so easy for her to just rely on her magic to solve all of her problems. And I think that's something she's learning. So yeah, I think that's what I admire about her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, are there any voice acting roles that you really did not like doing or thought were the worst you've done?
The ones that are hard, that are physically hard, are probably not as much fun. The really screamy roles, you do a lot of screaming. Although with that said, I've had to scream quite a bit with Starlight. Yeah, any of the ones that make your throat feel hurty at the end of the day. But yeah, there's sometimes there are gigs where you're like, this isn't the best thing or the best whatever. But that's why it's a job. And my worst day at work is better than a lot of people's best day at work. So I try to remember that and be grateful for, honestly, the hardest thing is when you're not working as an actor, because you do that more than you work. So it's learning how to fill your time and be productive and not kind of let not working get to you, because you don't work a lot. Even if you're successful, you don't spend a lot of time working. So, thank you.
Hey, Kelly,
Hey,
how you
Ben.
doing? So, two parts. First, I want to confirm that what I heard you say at BabsCon is actually correct, and that Starlight Glimmer is like the most polarizing character you've ever played.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so the question for it is, what do you think made Starlight Glimmer so polarizing?
I think
The positives and the negatives.
she's like a battery.
I mean, I have my own theories and everything, and I have my own feelings on Starlight Glimmer
Yeah.
and everything, but
I think it's because she made such a 180. So,
Like in
there are
3
people
seconds.
that were. So there are people that loved her when she was bad and were really disappointed when she became reformed, and vice versa. And most people, I find, kind of end up somewhere in the middle, but that's probably why.
And by the way, thank you for coming out to the con and everything.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate having you, Nicole, and Tabitha out here. So, thank you.
They're pretty rad, aren't they? Those two? Yeah, they're the best. They're the best.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the first words to get out of my mouth. Anyway, first off, after this panel, I'd like to show you a video on Twitter that I did.
Oh, well, I'm going to the autograph room right after this panel, but you can come and say hi to me there.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we already said hi yesterday, but second off, there was this thing called worst case scenario. Wait, hold on, I gotta get this. What was the one scenario where you threw out your vocal cords for a very long time?
That's a great question. I had whooping cough in 2012. And by the way, if you don't know, you have to get vaccinated for whooping cough every 5 to 10 years, or you're susceptible to getting it. And I coughed so much that I lost my voice to the point where I was talking like I couldn't talk. And I lost my voice for about a month. And it was really, really scary because I thought I might never work again. But I went to a speech pathologist and I tried a whole bunch of home remedies and rested it and all the rest of it. And eventually it came back. But that was probably the scariest. It wasn't something that was a result of work. It was just an illness, and it was probably the scariest thing. I would have rather, broken my arm or something, but it happened. And now I know. Get a pertussis vaccine.
I think I might be due for mine.
Yeah, that's a healthy reminder to everybody.
Get vaccinated.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
So my question is, I know that you voiced Barbie for years and years, and recently you were replaced by Erica Limebeck. What was your reaction?
I don't know. There are a couple of fans that were upset, but Barbie's the kind of thing that the new fans are coming in all the time, and I don't think there are some adult fans, but it's not like this fandom where most of the fans are between 4 and kind of 7 or 8, and then they move on to other toys and other interests. So most people, I think, were fine with it. I was too. It was, I was replaced once as Barbie by Diana Carrena, who was amazing, and they changed their minds, and I came back for a few more, and then they changed their minds again, and that's just kind of what happened. I never anticipated being able to play her for as long as I did, and I wasn't anticipating playing her into my 50s, certainly, so it was nice to get to play her while I could, and I think Erica's awesome, so I've never met her, but I think she's doing a great job, so yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
Hi.
You mentioned earlier on that you had applied for My Little Pony the second year, for the second it came out for the main 6 and everyone since then. Was that for a particular desire to be on the show, or what led you to want to get on board?
It was a desire for a gig, like all of the auditions I go on.
And did you have any inkling it would become the thing it is now?
Nobody did. You're not given much when you audition for a show. You're usually given a page if you're lucky, and there's a couple of little excerpts, so you can sometimes get the gist of what the tone of the show is going to be like, or humor or whatever, but you don't get much of an inclination. And sometimes you see, drawings of what the characters will look like, but nobody knew that it was going to take off the way it did. And Yeah, it was the same kind of. It's just an actor's life. You get calls all the time to audition for stuff, and I'll audition for pretty much anything. So it was just another show that was like, ooh, this would be fun.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is mostly, recently I realized that you're the one who voices Starlight Glimmer, but I also realized that you've been making quite a few voices since I was like 5. You made the voice of Melody in My Little Pony Tales, did you not?
I did, yeah.
That is quite a long time for you to have such a wonderful voice, to keep it as clear as you have it right now.
Oh, stop. No, I mean, keep going.
And I would love to know how you keep it trained, how you train as a voice actress.
Well, I don't smoke, and I drink lots of water, and I try to get enough sleep. So that's, health is one thing, taking care, because your voice is a muscle, and so you take care of it. And I think, I just lucky. Like, women's voices don't really change that much unless they get to a certain age, like a lot older than I am, or they smoke or whatever, have an injury or something. So you listen to Tabitha and Nicole as well, and their voices have been pretty much the same as they've been for most of their adult careers, and most of the women I work with, it's the same thing. So we're lucky in that way. I take singing classes, and I just take care of my voice, and I guess I'm lucky. So it's changing. I can hear it from when I was, say, a teenager, but I can still play teens. I just have to work at it a tiny bit harder. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello. I'd just like to say is that I definitely do prefer older Starlight to where, she is kind of a equality type of character. I just have one request for you. Could you possibly yell quiet?
Of course, but I need to be interrupted, so you have to, or I need to interrupt
what are you
somebody.
trying to? I'm just curious what you're. I was interrupting you.
Quiet! I just want to see how long I can get to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. So sometimes when you ask like voice actors or even live action actors if they've watched their own work, they're kind of like uncomfortable doing it, and so I was just kind of curious. Do you watch any of your own work to kind of improve on it, or do you kind of feel weird about watching?
I'm a total narcissist. I tried to. I definitely watch MLP for sure. I watch all the episodes though because I like the show. But yeah, I try to. You can't really watch everything because it would be hundreds of hours of stuff. But yeah, I'm curious how things turn out, and yeah, I always do.
Thank you.
Thanks. We don't always get to see everything up in Canada, but because our Netflix and everything is different from yours. But we try.
Yeah. So kind of a two-parter, I think. Let me get my words. Oh, so when did you first heard of what a brony was, and what was your reaction?
My initial reaction was, "That's really weird. What is happening?" It didn't take long. Like I said, I work with all of the gals on the show, so we'd be in other sessions, and they started going to conventions almost right away, and we're like, so it's like, what is this? So what is it? Like, what's going on? You say, well, and they'd tell me about the bronies and the fandom and show me pictures and stuff, and then I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. It didn't take long for me to catch on, but you have to admit it was a surprising thing for everybody at first, I think. And now I think it's awesome. I'm a big advocate for you guys when I hear other people go like, oh, that's weird. Like, I don't get it. Why it's a kid's show. I'm always the first one to be like, it is not just a kid's show. They're really awesome. There is a lot of money for charity. They're the best, and they're really creative. And so I've gone on a few diatribes at cocktail parties before from someone's like husband accountant who's sort of like, I don't get it. For little kids. So, anyway. That was my first reaction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I wanted to know, how is your relationship with your coworkers on Inuyasha versus how it is on MLP?
Well, Inuyasha being a dubbed show, we don't actually get to work together. So when you do a dubbed recording, like Inuyasha was, because originally it was recorded in Japanese and then we dub over it in English, you're by yourself in a studio and you have a script with all of your lines and then you can hear these beeps in your headphones and you're watching the screen of the, whatever's happening and then you're kind of fitting the mouth flaps. So sometimes I'd be in a scene by myself before they'd recorded Moroku's lines or Kohaku's lines or whoever, and sometimes you'd hear the other actors, but it's always kind of piecemeal. I mean, I knew a lot of the people on the show just from working on other stuff and got along with them, but we didn't have the fun of getting to record together. And it's totally the opposite in My Little Pony. We're all in a room together. If everyone's in town and available, they try to get as many of us as possible, and you get to play off of each other, and it creates a really fun dynamic. But they don't really need that in dubbed recording because the focus is on making the performance fit what's already been animated, whereas on a show like this, they want to animate the kind of interactions in the performances, the spontaneous things that come out of, recording together. So I like them both, but it's fun when you get to play with the other actors.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you find it more difficult to do dubbing since you're kind of trying to match what's already there?
It's just a different, some people find it really difficult. It's just an experience thing. So once you've done it a couple times, it's not too hard, but it's technically more difficult because you're trying to fit your performance into this other thing, and sometimes the context or the translation is kind of weird, because Japanese can be like da 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 da, and in English it's like, yes, let's do that. So you're kind of trying to. That's why sometimes dubs can be really sort of weird sounding and awkward because they're trying to meld these two languages together. But yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Ooh, shocker.
Shocker, yeah. So earlier you mentioned Frank Welker. Were there any other voice actors that inspired you to pursue this career?
Well, Mel Blanc, of course. He's the big one. I didn't know it at the time, but Billy West is amazing. Oh gosh, there's so many. Yeah. But probably, Mel Blanc, Frank Welker, and those are two big ones. I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to think of a female voice actress that I'm like, she's amazing, and there's a bunch of them, but I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I guess I'll follow up with this question. Are there any other voice actors that you wish to work with in the future?
Oh, sure, all of them.
It's one big movie.
Yeah, I think DiMaggio would be great, and Billy West would be amazing, because Billy West is still around. He's still working like crazy. I've had the fortune of working with a lot of amazing voice directors. I've worked with Andrea Romano and Chris Zimmerman and Charlie Adler, so it's cool. I've crossed a lot off my bucket list for sure. And I got the chance to work with Tim Curry, so there's been some good ones. But yeah, anybody with enormous talent is pretty fun just to watch. And I get to do that all the time with voice actors in Vancouver, so.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello.
Hey. So, I'm just kind of curious. So, out of the four princesses, Celestia, Luna, Twilight, and Cadence, which would you be like a really big fan of?
That I'm a big fan of?
Mm-hmm. If you were to choose from like either of the four.
I like Luna.
Luna?
It's the darkness. I like a little bit of darkness. I kind of like the bad guys. She's not a bad guy, obviously, but she's had her time. And there's sort of like an otherness to her that she's cool.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thanks. Her design is really amazing too.
Throughout your career, what's like the funniest outtake or mistake that you've read on a line? Like, oh, that was a mistake, but it was funny.
Oh, that happens constantly. And you know what? I need to come up with some examples because I'm asked that question a lot, and I never have a good example of what to. Yeah, weird, hilarious things happen constantly, especially if you're in a session with Tabitha. She ad-libs so much stuff. Like nothing that Granny says is actually what's on the page. She stays in the general vicinity, but even yesterday, her own script, She was ad-libbing stuff. So I was like, that's not what's there. But yeah. I think she just channels Granny and it just comes out, whatever comes out. But I can't think of a specific example. Weird stuff is happening all the time. And there are weird things that I go, oh, this is just a normal day, but for anyone else this would be so bizarre. Like, stunt burping is a thing that happens often. Like, if you have to burp in a script, a lot of people can't burp on command, and so they'll go through the room and go like, okay, we need a stunt burp, and a bunch of people go, I can do it. So you've got a bunch of people like stepping up to the microphone and going, how about this? So, and that happens often. Like, that's not just a regular day at work. So yeah, if that's your regular day at work, I can't even think about what the strange things are that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did you
Hi.
feel when you learned that you got such a big role in the season 6 finale?
How did I feel?
Yeah.
Well, Jim Miller gave me a couple hints a few weeks before we recorded that episode. And then when I read the script, I was so excited. It was such a hard secret to keep because it was for about a year, that I had to keep between recording it and when it was aired. And I thought, I answered so many questions about, do you think Starlight's ever going to meet Discord? I was like, that would be cool. That'd be great if Starlight ever met Discord. Or, is there going to be another Trixie Starlight episode? I love the two of them together. That would be super awesome. There should be another Starlight Trixie episode. So when it was finally aired, I was like, yes! I just thought it was amazing putting those 4 characters together and taking away their magic because, if you think between Discord and Starlight, they could have just stormed in there and taken care of everything, but that was such a great device. And I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really epic. It's like this epic hero's quest that they went on. It was very Lord of the Ringsy. I don't know, it was awesome. It was really fun to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it cool if I step in with a quick question? Do you mind?
Yeah.
All right, so for recording, do you have any tips before starting your sessions? Because I try doing recording and there are times where I get just choked up or I hear a lot of weird sounds like clickety clacks coming out of my mouth.
Oh yeah, we call those schniggle or schmegs.
Yeah, like
that's the official term.
Schmegs.
Schmegs. There's some schmegma. That's what Terry says. There's schmegma.
Yeah, because I was told lemon juice and water helps. I'm not sure if it's something where it's you're just looking too much into it as well, and it don't sound as bad actually on the recording. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what you think.
I'm lucky because I always have an engineer to say, oh, we've got to click on that T or whatever, whatever to tech. They call it tech. We need to do it again for tech. But lemon juice and water helps. Cold water, not eating dairy right before a session or chocolate or anything that makes you kind of phlegmy. Some people are just more schniggly than others. Yeah, maybe you're just a schniggly person. I get the little nose schnorts off in those things. I kind of have to go sometimes if something's sticking.
Do you when you guys record, do you just go for it? Like big blocks of paragraphs, or do you one sentence at a time and then go?
Yeah, they usually try it depends on the show, but for ponies they try to do a scene at a time. So
Okay.
there's the show's broken up into scenes in which some of the scenes are really big though. You can't get through all of one in a recording or in a take because the engineer's flipping up the faders between all the actors. So yeah, we try to get through big chunks of it. And Tara Strong records in LA, so she doesn't record with us. So someone always reads Twilight's lines in the session, so you have something because she has a lot to say, so you have somebody to play off of. So.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Thanks. And now you go.
So the spotlight.
So a lot of people, yourself included, have been parading Starlight as practically the most powerful unicorn. So what are your thoughts about Starlight replacing Twilight in the main cast?
Ooh. them's fighting words. I don't think she could ever replace her. I think she's just a new character. I think it's an evolution of the show. Twilight's learned so much. I don't know if it would make sense for her to be a student forever. And she is still a student in a way. I think she's learning more about friendship now as for being a teacher. You can kind of see her evolution going that way. And I don't know. I know the comparison between the two is very apparent, believe me. But I hesitate, they're very different in a lot of ways too, so I kind of hesitate to think of Starlight replacing Twilight. Also because Tara would kill me. But,
Be careful, you're near LA, so yeah.
Yeah, I know, exactly. She can hear us.
I can smell her.
She's sending her minions as we speak. That's another thing, she's just so brilliant. There's no replacing her, that's for sure. She's incredible.
Thank you, and thank you for coming out here.
Thanks. tacos.
How did you feel about the season 6 finale? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part. By the way, you have an amazing voice. Is that your real voice?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Wow, you have an incredible voice. I'm gonna make note of that. I'm gonna copy your voice one day, so don't sue me. My favorite part of the season 6 finale?
Yes.
Was probably, there's so many good ones. Probably when they're walking through the desert to get to the castle. There's a lot of funny moments in there. It's sort of a moment of, there's been a lot of panic, and it's kind of a moment of just like breathing space. So, Discord tripping over his own feet and all the rest. And then just kind of already starting to form their little bond. It was pretty fun. And, getting to hear the main 6 as baddies. That was fun too. That was fun. Well, they're changelings, obviously, but it was kind of fun in the studio too. I think the girls had fun being able to kind of be nasty, because they never get to do that in the show.
Now, before you leave, Kelly, you want to see something really cool?
Yeah.
Make your hat work. Look at this.
Oh, that's the best. I want one.
I saw one of these in a Walgreens, and I'm like, I gotta get me one.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you have one of those as well?
I will.
Yeah.
Someday.
It's
Amazon wish list.
Greetings, and thank you for coming to Pacific Ponycon.
Thank you.
First off, I would like to ask you, if you do read, which I'm sure you do, what are your favorite books?
Ooh, I read a lot. Right now, my favorite is The Name of the Wind, the Kingkiller Chronicles. So I'm still waiting for. Has anybody or anyone read the Kingkiller Chronicles? Oh, great. Oh, I love indoctrinating people. So if you like sci-fi fantasy, it's a fantasy trilogy written by Patrick Rothfuss, and it's the most beautiful. The first 2 books are out, and the third one has been it's kind of a R.R. Martin situation where people are like, what's happening? Anyway, it's brilliant. It's amazing. So I love those, and I really loved, when I was a kid, I loved the Narnia Chronicles. I read those countless times when I was a kid. And right now I'm reading a trilogy called, I think it's called The Tierling something. The first one is called Queen of the Tierlings, I think. So it's a trilogy. That's great too.
And second of all,
I like a lot of books.
dang it, what was my question? Oh yeah, what type of tips would you have for aspiring voice actors?
What kind of tips?
For aspiring voice actors.
Well,
Don't hurt yourself.
are you asking for a friend?
Vaccination.
I don't know.
I have a lot of tips, but the main ones are you have to live in a city where voiceovers are recorded, which usually means Los Angeles, New York. I think they do some in Austin. There's a couple places in Texas where they do animation dubbed stuff. So those are the main places. Up in Canada, it's Vancouver and Toronto. A little bit of Montreal. So you have to live in one of those places. It's really hard to have a career if you don't. You can't really work remotely. People want to see you in the room reading for stuff. And then the other tip I would say is take acting classes, acting lessons, theater school, singing classes, improv classes. You don't necessarily need a voiceover class. There's voice acting, and the voice is one part of it, and the acting is honestly the more important part. So it's great if you can do if you are versatile, but you need to be able to take direction and make acting choices, and that's the hard work. So acting classes really help. And then reading aloud, because that's a skill that you have to have as a voice actor. So you kind of develop this skill where you're reading sort of 4 or 5 words ahead of where you're speaking in order to kind of make sense of the lines. So a lot of people don't read out loud. It's very different reading something in your head and reading it out loud. So that's something anybody could do.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
And this is a question I think all of
you guys can answer. Oh yeah, I'm throwing you guys
Oh,
out there
finally.
too.
Just me, not them.
It's about time.
Totally them. Just me.
But how do you feel like My Little Pony has changed the general perception of cartoons on a whole?
You guys want to answer first?
No. So around like 2010, we started to see like untraditional, but like flash animation kind of show up again and everything. It was really cool seeing like, I think that was when you saw the new generation of creators show up, like Regular Show, Adventure Time, and they were a bit more out of the box than like what came before, like Fanboy and Chum Chum, not to like put them down, but that was very like, we need Jimmy Neutron, we need more like this, and I guess My Little Pony is kind of the same category where it's like, yeah, we don't have to be like okay, for example, like the Disney Renaissance with like Little Mermaid and Pocahontas, you kind of see like a new female lead show up. That's different from the Silver Age, like Cinderella and Snow White. Not to put them down, but they were a bit more, I can't wait to see my boyfriend or my husband or some my love interest. These girls are like, they still like the guy, but they're like, I'm also going to be a bit of a thinker. But then with the current stuff like Tangled, Frozen, it's not just general love interest. It's like, whoa, a woman can do more than just love a man? What? So you're starting to see, I guess, female characters who are like not pink, like it's not sorry, Pinkie Pie. No, but not like tea parties and boys. It's like, oh no, they can also kick some butt too and be free thinkers. And that's really cool because it's important not just for girls to see that, but for guys to see that, so they can also respect girls and think we can be equals. It's not just girls can only be like this, guys can only be like this. It's like, no, you can be whatever you want.
I feel like this show also kind of changed the tide a little bit because for a while, I can't think of a lot of cartoons, like a few years before that, a lot of cartoons at least, that we would look at and be like, oh man, there was some good stuff coming out in like 2006, 2007.
That was like a dark age for cartoons.
And it seemed like that was kind of a turning point for cartoons where like when Lauren picked up the show and was like, oh, we're going to make this, but it's going to be something that the whole family can enjoy. And it seems like a lot of cartoons picked up that idea like, oh, maybe if we don't just, like, it's for this demographic, but if we can make it where the parents enjoy it, maybe even the siblings, the older siblings can enjoy this, then it's kind of changing the way that they think about the product that they're putting out. And next thing you know, here we all are.
My Little Pony was just straight up like back in the day a commercial. That was it. I mean, not to. Sorry, I know you do My Little Pony tales. I'm just saying though, but the objective of like the companies is this is a glorified like advertisement, and then there was an FCC thing where they're like, no, it's got to be educational too, and that kind of hurt during the '90s, and then. You can see that Hasbro's like, how do we recover from this? And they kind of gave up on it for a while. They just kind of like, we'll just put it as straight to video schluck, whatever. It's pink, whatever. It's good. Girls are gonna buy it. And then they realized, oh wait, we can actually make this good and have our cake and eat it. And that's now you guys have Generation 4 My Little Pony, where it's like it doesn't have to be just generic garbage. It can be really, really good, where everybody wins. Like you said, the parents can also watch. That's what Lauren said. She said she wants it to make it to where parents can watch this with their kids and not be miserable. And to take the pinkest thing ever, My Little Pony, and flip it around was like, what? So
we have conventions about it, so.
Yeah. Sorry, dominated the questions.
Well, what they said, basically. But I had a point, I can't remember. I think My Little Pony was just a bit ahead of the curve, where you see it like, I mean, this is one of the reasons where I was recast as Barbie, is they had a big brand change, where they wanted to retain their fandom for when they got older. So they wanted kids who were 9, 10, 11, 12 to still be watching Barbie. So they wanted to change the kind of stories that they were telling, the way they were telling those stories, and who was voicing her as well. So I think, and you see that happening with a lot of shows where they're trying to make the storytelling more sophisticated. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really great because it means that parents will watch stuff with their kids. I mean, how many parents have you heard like, I watch the same thing over and over again, and it's kind of some of the programming can be kind of mind-numbing. So, anyway, yeah.
For Barbie, though, what's interesting about that is I think they saw My Little Pony's success, and I heard that there was a recent Barbie movie where she was trying to stop the heat death of the universe. I kid you not, like that's the thing, and like it was really like I only read the synopsis about it, but it's like wow, they're really going for it. Yeah, let's forget the coffee and the tea parties. We're going to stop the heat death of the universe.
Yeah.
and she's getting a space station, and Ken's actually like a real cool dude now. So it's kind of cool because these people grew up with this stuff, and to see it flip around, where it's like, oh wow, now they kind of like they're almost aware of it, and that's fun. And it's fun. And it's fun for little kids because they don't know any better, so they enjoy it too. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, back to Kelly.
Hello again. So we heard about what books that you enjoy. Are there any like movies or TV shows that you enjoy that are recent or still going, or even stuff that's like ended or finished or whatnot?
Yeah, so many. I love Fargo, and I love Deadwood, and I love Firefly. Well, I love anything Joss Whedon makes, but Firefly especially is great. And I love Archer, and I love Last Man on Earth, and I love The Office, and I love a lot of things. Remember how I said actors don't work a lot? One of the things you do to spend time is watch TV. And if I watch cartoons, it's called research.
You can write those off.
There you go.
And then any particular movies that you'd care to mention?
Yes. Oh, there's so many. One of my favorite movies last year was Birdman, which is phenomenal. It's a tour de force. If you haven't seen that, it's pretty crazy. So many. I don't know. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on. I didn't have any problem going there for TV shows, but I'm drawing a blank on movies. Anyway,
Would you consider animated movies research too?
Oh sure, yeah. I'll watch any. Zootopia, of course.
No, God, no, please.
That's the best movie of last year.
I gotta see that movie still.
You haven't seen Zootopia? I watched it like 5 times.
Actually, I saw it 27 times. in
Okay,
theaters,
good.
so-
You.
Speaking of Disney movies, are there any that you were like, if you could go back in time and be a voice in? Are there any like, I would have been in Aladdin, or?
Oh, that's weird that you said Aladdin, because that was my favorite of that little, resurgence of Disney movies. Mostly because the music was so amazing. That would have been great. And I think it would have been really fun. It would have been strange casting. I don't think a good idea, but it would have been amazing to be in Mulan, because I think she was the first Disney princess to actually save herself, which is cool.
And save China, yeah.
And all of China. Whatever. So that would be
Spoilers.
cool. I don't think that would have gone over well in PR to cast a white Canadian as Mulan. They probably
We
made
will
the right
save
choice.
China, eh?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll handle this. Huns, we're sorry.
Sorry, we're sorry. Hi.
Hi. Now that the subject of books has been broached, have you done any audiobook readings, or do you like audiobooks?
I would love to do audiobook readings, but they don't really record them in Vancouver. They do a lot of them in New York, so we don't ever get the opportunity. We're never asked to do them. So yeah, I would love to do one. That'd be fun. It'd be great to do kids' books. Kids' audiobooks would be great. So if you know a guy, tell him to call my agent.
All right. Thank you.
Hi. Sorry. I know, sorry about that whole thing. It was your choice. I hope so. It's tricky to talk about season 7 because we've recorded some of it. So, yeah, that's it. Do you have any other Starlight or any other questions? Any other? Yes, hi, nice to see you. Amazing cosplay, by the way. Incredible.
Hi, I've been watching the Barbie movies since I was like teeny tiny, and I absolutely love them. I've also been watching an anime called Inuyasha.
Yes.
And Sango is my favorite character.
Ooh, awesome.
And, okay, so my question is, what was your favorite Barbie movie, like to watch?
Ooh, a lot of favorites. My 2 favorites were The Nutcracker, because that was the first one I ever did. I got to work with Tim Curry, and Andrea Romano directed it, and it was so exciting to play Barbie, and I thought any second they were going to fire me and figure out I was a fraud. So that one was pretty amazing. And then I also really loved the Musketeers one. So they did motion capture with amazing fencers, and they were like sword fighting Barbies. It was incredible. That's something I always admired about the Barbie movies. Is right out of the gate, she was always her own hero. Kind, clever, and brave was their motto for her. So I thought she was a really cool model. I mean, a lot of people. I think you'll empathize with this. A lot of people went, "Oh, Barbie! Like you do Barbies? Like, oh, I don't let my kids play with Barbies." But I thought the movies were really great role models for kids. The values that she emulated, I thought were really awesome for kids. And it wasn't always about romance and everything. She always saved the day. So.
Yeah, and my favorite Barbie is a Ken doll, and he makes kissy noises when you press the button on his back.
That's awesome.
Okay, thank you. I think we have another question.
I know real people who do that sometimes. Hi.
Hi, I have a question for Starlight Glimmer.
Uh-huh.
How did you make the weapon to strip the entire village that you did of their cutie marks?
It's just a piece of wood I found in the desert.
Oh. And then you put some magic into it.
Yeah, I don't know how she came up with the spell. Do you guys remember? Did she talk about that in the episode? How she came up with the spell to do that? They didn't talk about that, did they?
But it's in my fanfic.
Saber Spark will tell you later. Thanks for your question.
So I was curious, have you seen any of the Equestria Girls films, and what's your opinion on them if you have seen them?
I've seen them, and I've been in one. I was, what was her name? Lightning Dust, is that her name? In the second one, she's the, are we gonna win? That chick, that was me. What's her name? Indigo Zap, that's right, thank you. Third movie. You can tell how well
Keeping you
I'm tracked.
honest.
Yeah. I think they're fun. I think they're kind of like, they're like cousins but not sisters. They're like a different animal. Pardon the pun. And they're fun. I think the music is great, and it was really fun to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions, folks? Don't be shy. We got about, I can do math, 8 minutes left.
Well, while we have a question coming up, I'm curious, how old were you when you had your first gig, and what was it?
I was like about 13 years old,
Oh, wow.
and it was called Captain Z and the Dream Team or something like that. And it was about this group of superheroes that go into kids' minds when they're sleeping and kind of help them resolve their nightmare they're having, which is usually related to some problem that they're
That's your
experiencing in their
Luna
lives. It's really trippy, very existential.
That's why Luna's your favorite.
Yeah, right? Origin stories. So I was auditioning for something else, and the director for that show, Paul Quinn, was walking through the studio on his way to doing something else. He's like, "Oh, who's that kid? We need a kid for this thing I'm doing tomorrow." It's like just a little guest spot. So I didn't get the thing that I went in to audition for, but I got this other show, which is often how you end up being an actor. You just kind of fluke into it. But that was my first gig. Yeah, but My Little Ponytails was one of the first, if not the first series I ever did. That was the first big show that I got to do.
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for your talent. I really enjoy your role as a Glimmer, as everyone else here does.
Thank you.
Now, if Applejack is Apple Horse and Twilight is Book Horse, does that make you Time Horse because of your time manipulation around the fifth season, I think? Yes.
Yeah, we haven't really discovered any of her picadillos yet, right? Like what she, like her weird things that she likes. So, yeah, okay. Although, is Doctor Who's Time Horse when you think about it?
He's copyright horse.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I suppose. Maybe. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
And I think we might close the line here because we only have a few minutes left. So when I say close, I mean what's
look at the best you guys have.
We'll answer your guys' questions.
Everyone's like, God dang it.
So, I just wanted to ask, is Starlight Glimmer really reformed? Really?
I don't know. Is anybody really reformed?
She
really?
goes to an AA meeting.
At the end of the day, everyone has a dark side, right? We all have the possibility. It's a choice. So we all have that choice in our lives. And I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Has Starlight Glimmer mastered the spell of immortality? And if so, how do you do it?
Nice try.
Fill us in, Kelly.
Yeah,
Yes,
Kelly.
yes, she has. And it's that thing in The Simpsons where they take your head and they put it in a jar. You're a robot and you just, that one. Yeah, and the spell is
Eat your vegetables.
4 tacos and 4 different taco meals in 24 hours.
Those taco places are paying you, aren't they?
Yeah, I just really like tacos. I really do.
Speaking of Equestria Girls, who is the stronger unicorn, Sunset Shimmer or Starlight Glimmer?
Oh. Well, I guess it would have to depend on how you define stronger. I think Starlight's maybe, well, we've seen more of her, so I don't know if that's fair, but maybe she's the stronger magician. But I think old Sunny probably is more sophisticated. I think she probably has a better grasp on friendship and kind of interpersonal relationships and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool if they met each other, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Or it's one of those things. It's like it's only a matter of time, right?
I hope so.
Ah, well, actually, to be honest, we blew through those questions a lot faster than I thought. If I raise a hand, is there anyone else that had a question? Just curious. I guess we did pretty good. Yeah.
This fella does.
Do you ever see Starlight coming to the Equestria Girls Bowl?
Oh, that'd be so cool. I really want to see what she looks like as a person. I don't know. I guess, as long as the show keeps going, hopefully we'll get to see that one day. That'd be cool.
There you go, Matt.
I don't know anything about tacos. The place I've enjoyed the most is called La Puerta, and that means the door in Spanish.
They call it Chipotle.
I went there for lunch today, and it was really good. It was very good. So La Puerta. But it feels like it's hard to find a bad taco in San Diego. They're amazing. Oh, so good. Hi.
Best foreign food you've ever had?
Oh.
Well, I'm very lucky. I live in a city that has a similar diverse palate as San Diego, so I like a lot of different types of food, but no, there are tacos there. You just have to go a little farther afield to get to them. I eat a lot of tacos at home too. But I love sushi and I love Thai food. Those are probably my 2 other faves. Oh, and Vietnamese food is good too, and Italian. I like food.
I'm gonna do one more. Fire away.
Oh, ooh, that's a tough question. I like the añejos, and so I really like Tres Generaciones. Their añejo is good. And there's one, if you can find it, that's an extra añejo that's, what is it called? Cava de Oro. That's amazing. In fact, I'm going to the Bevmo to buy some today because we can't get it in Canada. So I'm going to buy a bottle, bring it home.
Stock up.
Yes, they're both really good.
All right, well, I know we all want to thank Kelly for coming out here and answering our questions.
That was super fun.
And thanks to you guys, good questions out there. Well, that's a wrap here on this panel. Guys, have a great rest of your Saturday, and there's still plenty to do. You can check it out in the con book, and then Sunday, I know there's plenty to do as well as there. So
I'm heading to autographs right after this when Tabitha and Nicole both be there. And then tomorrow we have a voice actor panel at a certain time that I can't remember what. But anyway, check your schedule because we'll be back here tomorrow.
all right, everyone, well, have fun.
See you guys.